Let's leave it here. And I'm now going to very briefly talk about living without medicine. I won't take more time. I think all of you all have been part of that, large network, so to speak. And uh, personally, what is it? What is a journey for me? I'm going to just share a bit. Uh, get in our special, what should I say, speaker of the day, Meghna Shukla, in. So living without medicine actually is it was an idea which was born uh, from a from very different strands. One was the strand where we were working with organic agripreneurs and farmers, and they would say that, oh, we would like to grow organic, we would like to grow a lot of new kind of varieties of things, a lot of indigenous and traditional things, but we don't believe there is a demand for it. We don't believe there's a market for it. And that set me thinking at one level. The other aspect, I think, which I wanted to touch upon living without medicine was that increasingly saw lifestyle diseases emerging. And there were, almost every second person I would talk to in the city who was a friend or a friend's friends would have some kind of an ailment or another. And this could span across all age groups. So it wasn't that it was hitting somebody who was, say, a 50 plus or a 60 plus. You found a 20-year-old with these kind of ailments too, and these were just increasing. So somebody would have thyroid, somebody would have diabetes, somebody would have an heart ailment, arthritis. It is unbelievable that how young people could also have developed some of these ailments. What really hit me the largest was that I started seeing that in my own family, on an average, in my extended family, not very extended family, it was like the close extended family. In the last about 5 years, there are at least 5 people who have passed away with cancer. And that really started bothering me a lot, that something is really, really going wrong. What it could be, we know that there's air, there's water which is affected. But what was closest to us is food, because that's something we can control so much more easily. And as I started entering the organic movement, I realized that not only have we have been eating chemical rich food, and if I can call it rich in any sense of the word, completely, enriched with all kind of harmful chemicals, but we are also leaving aside nutrient foods. So chemicals in food cause a loss of nutrients, but also the very fact that we have just stopped being connected with our past, with what is, was traditionally our food systems, which were very scientifically designed. And there's such amazing science behind it, and that is really what started, capturing my imagination. And soon I started also talking to some of the people who, and many of them were engineers, educated people who had actually left, what should I say, their villages. But the more I would talk to people who were trying to return back, what's saying reverse urbanism, and who got interested in gaushalas, and why is it that the cow, this whole intriguing thing about why is this cow so important and central to us. Um, so the more one explored this area, the more you discover that there's this such a wealth of hidden knowledge in around food, and around indigenous food, which we are some completely getting disconnected with. So the only way to really take care of ourselves was to, somewhere reverse the way we were living our life, reverse the way we were thinking about ourselves, reverse the way we were eating, reverse the way in which we thought about our work and personal living, all of that really. And that is the only, whole essence of living in a fulfilled manner. So we everywhere I went, I saw that there were people teaching yoga and meditation and all kinds of things to take care of our mind, but there weren't enough people who were telling us how to take care of our bodies. Okay, everywhere we I went, I saw that people were teaching how to lead a stress-free living, but I don't think people were being able to connect that the mind and the body cannot be separated. They are so closely connected. If you start taking care of your mind but you're not taking care of your body, you are going to still continue to go wrong. So we are a whole system. We are really a, you can't leave one part of the system and, start focusing on another system. So I'm now coming to the reason why we started this webinar series. We started, of course, our WhatsApp groups. We started some events in some parts of India where the organizers, some of our members out here who are currently on the call, they started taking interest and started organizing very good events, bringing in consumers together. We also felt that now it's a time that we should have something online so that we can, at least outreach to people who are not able to sometimes come physically on events. So this is one, and also get access to people like Meghna who may not be physically present in Delhi or in other parts of India. So that is one reason why we started this webinar series, and they're going to really go on with all of your support. So you all are the first, what should I say, the ambassadors for this. And anchors for this coming forward. But coming back to why millets is that I personally started my journey with millets about a year and a half ago. I didn't know anything about millets. The only introduction to millets I ever had in my life, actually two introductions to millets which I had in my life, one which was pleasant and one which was entirely unpleasant. The pleasant one was that as a kid, I remember, we used to have this outhouse in Gujarat where I lived in Baroda, and this person would we had this maid, we had a servant quarter. It was a very nicely done servant quarter, and they would make these bhakris, and I would ask them, how are you making them? And they would not even roll them, they would just do it with their hand. So I remember that as my memory of having bajra rotla, and of course sometimes exotic restaurants, Gujarati thalis, etc. And the second time was when I was in the Art of Living ashram, and we were forced to drink this horrible looking thing, which I could not understand what it was. They said there's ragi in it. And I said, like, what the heck? What is ragi? And why am I being made to drink something so unpleasant? And so these are the only two things which I did maybe in the last, many years of my life. But a year and a half ago, when I started exploring this whole world of millets, started seeing what differences has started making to my personal well-being. How every day, every single day of mine is, spent in more lightness. The heaviness which I used to feel constantly has disappeared. I was almost pre-diabetic and again borderline thyroid. I think all of that has disappeared now. I won't attribute it entirely to millets, but I would say at least 30 to 40% I could, easily attribute it to switching to millets. And that's really what my story is. And I felt that it's important all of us be part of this journey and spread this to everywhere. Because I think the people who are present in today's webinar are, every single person out here is, is really a very strong anchor in this movement. I have the privilege of introducing Meghna ji. Meghna Shukla ji, welcome to you. I'm so thankful for you to have taken this in a short notice of less than 24 hours. I mean, really hats off to you for doing this for us. Meghna connected with me when from Indore, and I had no idea who she was a few months ago. And then every time I had somebody would ask me a question about millets, I would pass it on to her, and she would have the right answer for it. I've had the privilege of listening to Dr. Khader, as maybe some of us possibly all had, and Meghna Shukla ji actually represents him very beautifully. So Meghna, over to you. I really look forward to having a very, very powerful session and a lot of learning to take back. I'm going to mute myself now.
Thank you, Gauriji. Hello, everyone. Like Gauriji just said, uh, actually, my journey with millets also started in the same manner. We are all on a journey to हम अपने आसपास सब देख रहे हैं कि कितना डिजीज बढ़ती जा रही है, एंड ऑल ऑफ दोज आर लाइफस्टाइल डिजीजेस. लाइफस्टाइल डिजीजेस हम देख रहे हैं कि बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ती जा रही है, और हमेशा people who are actually leading healthy lifestyle, but those people are also getting diseases. So even like my father, when at the age of 55 he had an heart attack. So everybody was really surprised कि this fellow is he's so health conscious, इतना अच्छा healthy lifestyle lead करते हैं, इतना healthily खाते हैं, इन्हें कैसे heart attack आ गया? So eventually ये question हम सबके मन में आता है कि why so much diseases are there? तो मैं भी actually last 5 to 6 years से I have been to I have switched totally to organic food. And like I was actually not eating wheat, rice, बहुत कम खा रही थी, लेकिन and I was actually eating millets like ज्वार, बाजरा, रागी, जौ, ये सब मैं ऑलरेडी खा रही थी. तो फॉर सम टाइम इट वाज ओके, लेकिन उसके बाद विद मीनोपॉज मेरा वेट बढ़ना शुरू हो गया. एंड आई वाज रियली नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि बात क्या है. मैं सब कुछ तो ठीक कर रही हूँ, ऑब्वियसली थोड़ा चीटिंग की थी, एक्सरसाइज वगैरह उतना ठीक नहीं चल रहा था, लेकिन मेरा पूरा लाइफस्टाइल जैसा सब बोलते हैं वैसा ही था, जैसा होना चाहिए. But still I was just gaining weight. So when I came across millets and I started having millets, खादर सर का मैंने कोर्स किया millets के ऊपर. And then when I started eating millets, positive millets, Sri Dhanya millets, I started getting very good results. I got weight loss also, and even health-wise, I felt that I'm feeling very light and good. So that is the reason I started promoting millets. There are so many reasons for promoting millets, because like I feel that millets is actually the answer to all our health as well as ecological problems. So we'll get to it during our seminar. So the first question that we ask is, food we know is a very important part of our life. अगर हम एक क्वेश्चन पूछें अपने आप से कि हम एक्चुअली खाना खाते क्यों हैं, what is the need for us to have food, तो अगर हम पूछेंगे अपने आप से खाना क्यों खाते हैं, तो सबसे पहले आता है कि we need energy, right? हम जो भी काम करते हैं उसके लिए हमें एनर्जी चाहिए. अगर मैं आज आंख भी झपकाती हूँ तो उसके लिए भी मुझे एनर्जी लगती है. इवन व्हेन आई एम स्लीपिंग आई नीड एनर्जी. इट्स नॉट लाइक कि मैं जब कुछ स्ट्रेनियस वर्क करती हूँ या एक्सरसाइज करती हूँ मुझे तभी एनर्जी चाहिए. एनर्जी हमें अपने लाइफ के हर छोटे से छोटे काम के लिए चाहिए. सो हम खाना इसलिए खाते हैं क्योंकि उस खाने से हमें एनर्जी मिलती है ना. एंड हमारा जो ग्रेन्स है, ग्रेन्स हमारी लाइफ का एक बहुत ही इंटीग्रल पार्ट है. हम सुबह से शाम तक जो खाना खाते हैं उसमें मैक्सिमम आप देख लीजिए अराउंड 60% ऑफ द फूड दैट वी आर ईटिंग इज आवर ग्रेन्स, है ना. और ग्रेन्स जो हम आज खा रहे हैं सबसे ज्यादा वाइड स्प्रेड है, वो क्या है? व्हीट एंड राइस. सो वी नो दैट व्हीट एंड राइस हमारे लाइक व्हीट एंड राइस हम बहुत ज़्यादा खा रहे हैं. एंड हमें लगता है इसके बिना हमारा खाना नहीं हो सकता है. ऑब्वियसली विदाउट ग्रेन्स वी कांट इमेजिन कि हमारा खाना हो भी सकता है. सो इफ यू विल सी, तो हम इसलिए खाना खाते हैं कि हमें एनर्जी चाहिए. दैट इज ट्रू. सो व्हाट इज द सिंपलेस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ एनर्जी? जो सबसे सिंपल फॉर्म है एनर्जी का वो क्या है? सबसे सिंपल फॉर्म ऑफ एनर्जी है ग्लूकोज, राइट? कोई बीमार होता है या बहुत वीक फील होता है तो हम क्या बोलते हैं? ग्लूकोज पी लीजिए, है ना. तो ग्लूकोज वी नो इज द सिंपलेस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ एनर्जी. सो अगर हमें ग्लूकोज से सिंपलेस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ एनर्जी और हमें एनर्जी ग्लूकोज से मिल रही है फिर तो वी कैन जस्ट ग्लूकोज घोल घोल कर हम पी सकते हैं ना. व्हाट इज द नीड टू ईट फूड, राइट? सी, we don't do that. हम गेहूं खाते हैं, चावल खाते हैं, फ्रूट, वेजिटेबल, दालें, everything we eat, right? Because food gives us energy, लेकिन वो हमें एक mental satisfaction भी देता है, एक physical satisfaction भी देता है, हमें एक satisfying लगता है. अगर हम ऐसे ही ग्लूकोज खाएंगे तो it will not satisfy us, right? और वैसे भी हम जो भी खाना खाते हैं whatever food we eat, it goes through 108 processes of digestion in our stomach. तो अगर हम ग्लूकोज खाएंगे तो will it go through the processes of digestion? No, it will just totally हमने all glucose खा ही लिया ना direct, तो it will not go through any process. So whatever food we are eating, it should actually go through those 108 processes of digestion. So I'll come to our grains now. So the grains that we are eating today are wheat and rice. So yesterday we had given you a chart, nutrition fact of grains. If you would like to take a look at the chart, please take a look. Can you see the chart? ये open कर. Can you see the chart? See. You can open Soham Shukla's account. See, this is my chart of grains, nutrition facts of grains. तो यहाँ हम देखेंगे कि wheat and rice को ये देखिए, wheat and rice को मैंने negative.
We cannot see anything. We cannot see anything, Meghna.
Oh, you are not able to see anything. आप
No.
सोहम शुक्ला के अकाउंट को देखिए ना.
No, we haven't got his account. It has not been circulated.
Okay. Okay, it's in front of me actually. So
Soham Shukla is one of the participants.
No, no, we can see this.
Soham Shukla, if we go to his
tag. Is it? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. So see, this is my chart, and here I have termed wheat and rice as negative grains, right? See.
Audio.
Wheat and rice, I have termed them as negative grains, right? Can you see it?
No, we cannot see.
You tap on Soham Shukla's profile, then you'll be able to see the chart actually.
मेरी कोई मीटिंग का भी टाइम हो जाएगा. मैं बाद में गौरी से समझ लूंगी क्या है.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So see, this is the carbohydrate content of wheat, and this is the carbohydrate content of rice. Here, you know that we are eating carbohydrates to gain energy, right? But here in this chart, if you will see this figure 1.2, this is the fiber content of wheat, and 0.2, this is the fiber content of rice. So when we eat wheat and paddy rice, जब भी हम wheat और paddy rice खाते हैं ना, तो इसमें आपने देखा कि कार्बोहाइड्रेट तो काफी अच्छा है, but फाइबर बिल्कुल it's almost nil. So जब हम wheat और paddy rice खाते हैं, तो within 30 minutes of eating our food, it is not because it is so devoid of fiber, so it doesn't go through all the 108 processes of digestion. वो थोड़ा 50-60 processes के through गुजरता है, and within 30 minutes blood में glucose release कर देता है, and that too with a rush. स्लो रिलीज नहीं करता है, बहुत तेजी से ब्लड में ग्लूकोज को रिलीज करता है. तो जो ग्लूकोज एक्चुअली हमारे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, हमें एनर्जी देता है, लेकिन वो बहुत ही ज्यादा फास्ट रिलीज हो जाता है. और जो हमारा ग्लूकोज की जो हमारी नीड है, एवरी डे अराउंड 35 ग्राम्स ऑफ ग्लूकोज इज नीडेड बाय अ नॉर्मल पर्सन. 35 के आसपास का रेशियो होता है फॉर डिफरेंट पीपल according to their work. लेकिन हम जब व्हीट एंड पैडी राइस खाते हैं तो क्या होता है कि सिंस ये इतना तेजी से ग्लूकोज रिलीज करता है ब्लड में, तो उससे क्या होता है कि हम लोग बहुत तेजी से रिलीज तो कर देता है और उतना ही तेजी से इट गोज आउट ऑफ आवर ब्लड ऑल्सो। फिर 2 या 3 घंटे में हमें फिर भूख लगने लग जाती है। अगेन वी गो इनटू द सेम साइकिल, हम इधर हम व्हीट खाएंगे या पैडी राइस खाएंगे, एंड अगेन दैट। तो लाइफ लॉन्ग हमारा वो साइकिल चलता ही जाता है कि हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा, हमारी बॉडी बहुत ज्यादा ग्लूकोज प्रोड्यूस कर रही है। वी नीड ओनली 35 ग्राम्स ऑफ ग्लूकोज पर डे। लेकिन आज क्या हो रहा है, इवन आप 1 टी कप ऑफ कॉफी लेते हैं, उसमें जो शुगर लेते हैं उसमें ही आपको 5 ग्राम्स ऑफ शुगर तो आप उसी में ले लेते हैं, 5 ग्राम्स ऑफ ग्लूकोज उसी में मिल जाता है हमें। सो जब हम wheat and paddy rice all day, we are having 5 to 6 meals a day, and that too of wheat or paddy rice, तो क्या होता है कि हम बहुत ज्यादा, हमारी बॉडी ग्लूकोज बना रही है जितना हमें जरूरत नहीं है। सो अराउंड 70 to 80 ग्राम्स ऑफ ग्लूकोज हमारी बॉडी बना रही है जिसकी हमें जरूरत नहीं है ना। सो नेक्स्ट वी विल गो ऑन टू, यू विल सी can you see neutral
I cannot
grain?
see any chart.
Can you see now?
No,
Neutral grains, can you see?
Yeah.
no,
Yes.
we cannot see.
But what are the grains which are neutral?
Yes,
Yes.
we can see the neutral gains. They are on on Soham Shukla's account. So please see under Soham Shukla.
Yeah, on the Soham Shukla's account only, I'm able to see the like the numbers
table
and
you can
all.
see, right? Yes. So actually neutral grains are like jwar, bajri, chima, corn, oats, rajgira, kuttu. There are many grains in this category, quinoa. These are all known as neutral grains for the simple reason, if you will look at this, yes, this figure, see, if you will see this figure, can you see it? This
Sorry
is
to interrupt, but I cannot see any chart anywhere.
see. So this is the fiber content of these grains. So they are actually, they release glucose in our blood in around 2 to 3 hours time. So which sustains us for some time, and they are good for us. Anyways, gluten is there only in wheat. All other grains are without gluten, right? And secondly, any grain which is not wheat or rice, they are all called millets. So if you will see the fiber content of these millets are better than wheat and rice, and they give us sustainable energy for a longer time, right? So now we will,
Can we get the screenshot of the chart on WhatsApp group at least so that we can see
yes,
that?
yes. Gauriji, can we give them the WhatsApp of the screenshot? See, now I'll come to positive grains.
Yeah, just a moment. I think there is, let me clarify. Soham Shukla is the account on which you can see the chart very, very clearly. If you scroll, if you know how to scroll, you'll be able to see Soham Shukla. The chart is extremely clear. I will WhatsApp to you after the webinar is over. Okay.
Yeah. So see, now we are on positive grains. So the positive grains are, if you will see, I'll just show you the fiber content first. Yes. If you will see the fiber content of these grains, if you will see here, This 8% is foxtail millet. This 10% is barnyard millet. 9% is kodo millet. 9.8% is little millet, and 12.5% is brown top millet. So you can see that the fiber content of these grains compared to our negative grains and neutral grains is much, much higher, right? So when we eat these grains, positive millets, when we eat these grains, the glucose that is released in our body, it takes 5 to 7 hours of time, right? And if you will see the carbohydrate content of these grains, see, right? See, the carbohydrate to fiber ratio, can you see of these grains? So if you will see, the fiber to carbohydrate ratio of these grains is less than 10. See here, it's between 5 and 8. It's between 5 and 8, right? So any food grain in the world which has a fiber content of, which has a ratio of carbohydrate to fiber less than 10% is known as a healing food. So, Sohan, this phone. Okay. So I have shown you this chart. I have shown you this chart. I just wanted to give you a comparison about the fiber content of the grains. So now I'll tell you more about the positive grains. See, negative grains, if you will give them, like, because they are negative, we'll give them -50. Neutral grain, it will give it 0. And positive grains, we will give it +100, right? So when we eat negative grains, it's giving us diseases. When we have neutral grains, if we are in a good state, good health, healthy state, it is good for us to eat. But today, we are not in that state. Many of us are facing problems and complications which lifestyle. That is why today positive grains have become very, very important. Secondly, positive grains have a very high lignans content. Lignans are antioxidants, right? So,
all the sisters got together and pulled it out prettiest of their clothes and got dressed.
When we have these positive grains, the metabolic processes which happen in our body, they release some negative ions which are actually caught by these lignans which are present in the positive grains. So one thing is positive.
Shelja, Meghna, just a moment. Just a moment. Shelja, you need to mute yourself, please. Shelja, kindly mute yourself.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So with positive grains, we have seen that it has a very high fiber content. Secondly, it has very high lignans, which are antioxidants. So any free radicals which are produced in our body through the metabolic processes are caught by these lignans and they are drained out of the body. Thirdly, positive grains are alkaline in nature. All the other grains are acidic in nature, but positive grains are alkaline in nature. Thirdly, if you will see wheat and rice, its shape is like this. The fiber is on the periphery of the grain. So when we eat wheat and rice, we are actually literally not eating any fiber because we are eating polished grains and the fiber is on the periphery and it is actually we are not getting that fiber also. But when we eat positive grains, in positive grains, the fiber is in a spiral shape like this. So even till the middle of the grain, we get fiber. So even if you are eating polished millets, then too you are getting very good amount of fiber. Though you will not get the lignan benefit if you eat polished millets, because lignans are always in the
Connected.
periphery of the grain. So it's always best to eat the unpolished millets. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about fiber here. When we eat a food, most of the food that we are eating is grains, right? So when we are eating wheat and rice, we are not getting the required fiber that is required by our body. So we need around 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day. But when we are having a food with wheat and rice, what we are getting is around 5 to 10% of fiber. For our fiber requirements, mostly what we are eating is generally we are having our grains for our carbohydrate requirements, right? And for our fiber requirements, usually we try to have fruits and vegetables, right? So if you will see that the fruits and vegetables have more of water content. They have good fiber content, but like see, apple has 2.4%, strawberry 2%, pear 3.1, spinach 2.4, carrot 2.8, banana, pea 6%, okra, potato. So if you will see that we are having a fruits and vegetables, but still we are not getting enough fiber in our diets. Fiber is, we know that it's very, very important for us. We know that carbohydrate is important for us. We know protein is important for us. Fat is important for us. And we talk about various minerals and vitamins. We talk about having water as well, but I feel that fiber is one of the most underrated, I won't call it nutrient, but still it should be actually kept as a nutrient also. It is one of the most underrated component of our food. So when we eat our food gets digested in our stomach. The fiber is not digested at all. The fiber is not digested, but from our stomach, when it goes into our gut, it actually acts as a prebiotic. Whatever microbiota we have in our gut, it starts increasing those gut flora. So it makes a bulk in our tummy, and it relieves our constipation, it relieves the gut problems. It is very good for our tummy. Secondly, it gives us very good microbiota as well. So that is the reason when we are eating food devoid of fiber, the enzymes that we need for our digestion are also not proper. Our gut health is not proper. So it gives us indigestion and we face so many other problems related to our stomach, right? And we know that ये आपने सुना ही होगा नेचुरोपैथी में, आयुर्वेद में, कि सारी प्रॉब्लम्स पेट से ही स्टार्ट होती है. सो मिलेट्स इसलिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाते हैं, बिकॉज फर्स्ट थिंग इज grains are the biggest part of our food platter. So if we are able to replace wheat and rice with our millets, and especially positive millets, then it will be very good for our health. First, I'll tell you what are the positive millets, what are their properties, and then we will go on to how it is good for our health. First, I think first I'll just finish with how it's helping our health, right? So when we are having these positive millets and our glucose is controlled, because at the moment we are all on a sugar high. When our glucose, our sugar level is controlled in our body, because sugar and glucose is required by the body, लेकिन जब वो बैलेंस नहीं रहता है और ग्लूकोज का इम्बैलेंस हो जाता है बॉडी में, तो उससे क्या होता है कि हमारी बॉडी है, जब ब्लड से ग्लूकोज, जब ब्लड में ग्लूकोज रिलीज होता है तो पैनक्रियास इंसुलिन को रिलीज करती है, सो दैट दैट ग्लूकोज कैन बी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड टू द सेल्स ऑफ द बॉडी. जब ग्लूकोज को,
Excuse me, Meghna ji, can you please repeat? It's getting disconnected for me.
okay,
So the last sentence, can you repeat? It's getting disconnected for me.
yes, I was just trying to establish the sugar connection with the diseases in our body. जब हम व्हीट एंड राइस खाते हैं तो बहुत तेजी से ब्लड में ग्लूकोज रिलीज होता है. जब बहुत तेजी से ब्लड में ग्लूकोज रिलीज होता है तो ब्लड में जैसे ही ग्लूकोज आया, इट नीड्स अ कैरियर. वो कैरियर है इंसुलिन. इंसुलिन इज द कैरियर which takes the glucose from the blood to to all the cells of the body. तो सारे सेल्स को जब ग्लूकोज पहुंच जाता है, थोड़ी देर में फिर वी फील कि अब ब्लड में ग्लूकोज खत्म हो गया, देन अगेन वी नीड टू ईट फूड, राइट? तो ऐसे करके जब हम ग्लूकोज का ओवरडोज होने लगता है ना, बार बार हम बहुत सारा ग्लूकोज अपनी बॉडी में दे रहे हैं, तो उससे क्या होता है कि बॉडी को ग्लूकोज तो चाहिए लेकिन इतना ज्यादा ग्लूकोज नहीं चाहिए. जब इतना मिलने लगता है तो बॉडी क्या कर सकती है? बॉडी विल डू व्हाट इट नोज व्हाट टू डू. वो ये तो नहीं बोल सकती चलो आज मेरे पास ग्लूकोज ज्यादा है, मैं थोड़ा साइड में रख देती हूँ या किसी और को दे देती हूँ, है ना. वो बोलेंगे चलो थोड़ा सा कोलेस्ट्रॉल ज्यादा बना लेते हैं, आज तो ग्लूकोज बहुत है. थोड़ा ट्राइग्लिसराइड ज्यादा बना लेते हैं, आज तो ग्लूकोज बहुत है. फिर आपने देखा होगा कि आप शुगर सिरप बनाते हैं हम तो कैसे बनाते हैं? वाटर में आप शुगर डालते जाइए, उसे घोलते जाइए, आप देखेंगे वो वाटर थिक होता जा रहा है ना. तो जब ग्लूकोज बढ़ने लगता है ब्लड में तो ब्लड भी थिक होना शुरू हो जाता है. एंड ब्लड आप जानते हैं कि बहुत पतली नर्व से बहुत पूरे बॉडी में ट्रेवल करता है, तो इट नीड्स टू बी थिन. लेकिन जब शुगर कंटेंट बढ़ने लगता है बॉडी में तो वो ब्लड जो थिक होने लगता है, उसके कारण हार्ट प्रॉब्लम्स, ब्लड प्रेशर प्रॉब्लम्स, इवन जब आप ब्लड में शुगर ज्यादा हो रही है तो किडनी प्रॉब्लम, लाइक all sorts of problems starts happening in the body, right? तो जब हम पॉजिटिव ग्रेन्स पर आते हैं तो उससे क्या होता है कि एक तो वी डोंट रिक्वायर टू ईट सो मच. जब हम लोग और फिर जब बॉडी इम्बैलेंस हो जाती है, अलग अलग चीजें ज्यादा बनने लगती है, ग्लूकोज ज्यादा हो रहा है, तो बॉडी की सारी एनर्जी किसमें खर्च हो रही है? उस ग्लूकोज को बैलेंस करने में. सारी चीजें हाइपर होती जा रही है बॉडी में, तो उसमें बॉडी की काफी एनर्जी खर्च होती है, राइट? अगर हम इसको कंट्रोल कर सके, द अमाउंट ऑफ ग्लूकोज दैट आर बॉडी इज मेकिंग, अगर हम उसे कंट्रोल कर सके तो फिर क्या होगा? पॉजिटिव मोड में बॉडी जाएगी ना.
Yeah. At this point, Meghna ji, this is amazing because so much of in-depth understanding of really why we should be eating millets. At this point, I was thinking that we can possibly make this an interactive session. And there are so many questions which, many of our members have. And my sense is that a lot of what you have to say further will get clarified with that. Do you think that's a good idea? Should we move towards that side, because we are running at 4:15?
Just one moment, Gauri ji. I just wanted to introduce. I haven't even told the names of the millets till now.
Yeah, please,
so
please.
after that we can make it interactive.
Okay.
Okay. So the millets, the 5 positive grains that we are talking about are foxtail millet, which is also known as kangani, Rala, Kakun in Hindi. They have actually millets have different names in all the different states. That's why I'm sticking to the English names. Foxtail, it has got 8% fiber. Secondly is barnyard millet, which is also known as Mordan or Sama. Vari chawal is also called. So barnyard has got 10% of fiber in it. It is mostly eaten in fasting days, but जो हमारे पास आता है that is polished. Third is little millet. Little millet is, it has got 9.8% of fiber, and it is also known as putki. Brown top millet is known as makra, and it has got 12.5% of fiber. Secondly, foxtail millet is also known as Italian millet. Barnyard millet is also known as Japanese millet. Little millet is also putki. It is also known as African millet. Brown top millet is also known as American millet. And kodo millet is the original seed of India. It is also known as Adi Beej. We also call it Adi Beej. Though all these grains were grown in plenty in our country, but still kodo is our Adi Beej. So yeah, do you want me to tell about the characteristics of these millets? Like we have all these 5 grains.
Yes, please.
Yeah, they actually cleanse the body, right? But they goes and they clean different parts of the body. They have the characteristic of cleaning different parts of the body. So like foxtail millet, it is good for anything related to nerves or joints. Barnyard millet is good for liver and bladder, right? Kodo millet is good for allergies and blood related issues. Thirdly, little millet, it is good for any reproductive organ disorder or thyroid or hormonal imbalance. And brown top millet, it has the property of all the properties of foxtail millet, plus it is also very good for intestinal and gut health. So I have given you a little introduction about the millets. I'll just show you how they look.
You know, this is amazing information because up till now, I had no idea that each millet, and I would always wonder, this was going to be my next question, that why should one eat, you know, each of these millets separately? Obviously they are because they, you know, they affect different parts of our bodies. This is something very new information for me.
Yeah, see, like, yeah, I think you can see it in Soham Shukla's chat. This is foxtail millet. It is yellow in color. These grains are very, very small grains. This is foxtail millet and this is yellow in color. This is brown top millet. Can you see? Foxtail was yellow. This is brown top. This is green in color. Can you see? It's green in color. Then this is kodo millet. This is slightly bigger and darker in color. Then this is barnyard millet. It is creamish in color. And little millet. It is known as little millet. It is the smallest millet of all. It is very, very small grains. And if you can see, in all the grains, you will see that black point. Can you see that black dot in all the millets? No,
Yes,
no?
yes.
Yes, you can see, no? So You can see these in all. See, these are the grains. Can you see the different colors?
Any other name of brown top millet? Because I've never heard of it before.
Yes, brown top millet is the green one. It is also known as the American millet. And in Hindi, it's called makra.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I have a question on these basically mixing of millets. I've been hearing from a lot of people that you're not supposed to mix millets and have them together. Ideally, I have introduced millets to my children. My babies are 10 months old. Now, I wanted to understand that what is the frequency at which you can offer millets to babies? One, which millet can go with the other millet, or ideally all of them have to be eaten separately, and what you can mix with the millet, like dals or makhana or khaskhas, or what can you mix which goes with which millet perfectly?
Okay. Actually, millets are grains, and grains are actually heavy on body. So we never mix any grain together, whether it is wheat or rice or jowar or bajra, it should never be mixed. So this is the reason we don't mix any millet. Secondly, our
Excuse me, Meghna.
are millets positive millets?
Meghna ji,
Yes.
can I answer her question? That lady's question.
Let me answer, then you can also answer.
Fine.
Okay. Yeah. So secondly, all these millets, they have different cleansing properties. Like we have just heard that they cleanse the body, different parts of the body. So when you mix millets, our body gets confused, and that you will not get the cleansing action. You will get the fiber, you will get the nutrition, you will get the energy, but the cleansing action you will not get if you will mix the millets. Right? Secondly, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. I understood this piece. My part of the second part of the question was, what can you mix with the millets? Dal. Can you mix pulses? Can you mix?
Yes, you can mix vegetables, pulses, seeds, all these things you can mix, but you can't mix two grains, two millets together. Right? And with children, the thing is, kids are just, they always eat what we are eating at home, right? It's not like we give them something separate to eat. So they will also eat whatever we are eating. So from the age of 9 months, you can introduce millets to your children.
And how frequently we can have millet?
Oh, day in and day out. Day in and day out, you can have millets.
Currently, I'm offering them ragi in the morning with dry fruits and a little good and milk in it, with fruits in it. In the afternoon, I'm giving them rice with the different pulses, like a khichdi. I've made it. So I've just got foxtail millet and soaked it, and I'm drying it now. So I was wanting to understand, can I add makhana and a little bit of khaskhas to it and make another mix out of it?
Yes.
Because as of now, my kids are not having from our plate, because our plate is salted food with salt and sugar. So
Yes,
they
yes.
have special
They can
mixes
have
made for them.
and peanuts and all these things. Somebody else was also wanting to answer this question.
Yeah, Chetan.
Yes.
Actually, madam, she asked her about consuming of the millets. So whenever we consume one millet, throughout the day, we should consume a similar millet, because every millet is having a separate purpose. So when you're having a joint problem or something like that, so
Yeah.
if you continue
that,
from
yeah.
morning to evening the same millet, it will give a positive effect to that specific problems. And then you can explain that the book by Khadaroli sir, which gives us if any anybody is having some particular issue, what they should consume throughout the week.
Yes.
That chart also share.
Yes. What sir is saying is absolutely true. Whenever we go for disease management, or when we get into the millet, absolutely, when we are eating positive millets only, at that time, what we do is we eat the same millet throughout the day. We don't even change the millets. So why I had not mentioned it till now is because we are only thinking of like just learning about millets and trying to introduce them in our diets. But when we are totally on millets, we do this. We eat only one single millet in all of our meals, because since we are talking of replacing positive millets with wheat and rice, so whatever we make with wheat and rice, everything can be made with millets. Everything, even chapati, idli, dosa, uh, rice, even we are doing fondues and sizzlers and everything we can do with millets.
Meghna ji, I
Yeah.
have a question here on this point of 1 millet a day. I was planning to introduce another millet in the evening meal, as in a morning meal and the evening meal. So for the kids, do I do that or should I not do that?
See, the thing is, if you are like you're just having positive millets, neutral millets, everything in your diet, you can introduce the millets. But when we talk about disease reversal, that is the time when we follow this protocol that we eat millets like 2 days in a row, we will eat one millet, or one day total meals, we will have only one grain, only one millet. We will not change our millet. We'll make everything with that one millet. It may be roti, rice, idli, dosa, kheer, whatever, desserts, but we'll use only one millet.
So for the benefit of the entire group, Meghna ji, I just wanted to stretch this piece which you mentioned about disease reversal. I think a lot of us, and varying degrees, I mean, a lot of us or our extension have diseases like ailments which you mentioned about, lifestyle ailments like thyroid, diabetes, even I would say cancer, and arthritis, osteoporosis. So these are, typical diseases which all of, and especially I think post-menopausal, a lot of women have. So this is where what I wanted to check with you, that is there, if we were to just take up maybe one or two of these diseases, and if you could explain how millet can really make a difference.
See, what we are talking about is sugar management through millets, right? Yeah, so cancer, a cancer cell, it requires 27 times more energy than a normal cell. So when we are having too much sugar in our body, we are actually feeding our cancer cells. So when we starve our cancer cells, that time actually we start healing ourselves also. So that is why it is, and in different kinds of cancers, we have different protocols. Then secondly, we know arthritis is an inflammatory disease and sugar is the biggest cause of inflammation. So when we balance out our glucose and sugar level, then we are able to manage other diseases also. When our blood is thinner, then our heart disease is also in control. That is how we control all the diseases in our body. And these millets, they also detoxify the body, they clean the body, different parts of the body. So we are actually detoxifying our body, we are helping our gut, we are increasing the digestibility of our food. So whatever nutrition actually we are eating today, actually we are eating a lot, and we are eating very varied kinds of foods. Obviously wheat and rice is staple, but otherwise now we have so much more variety on our plates than earlier times. We are eating so much different, so much variety, but still mostly we are deficient in so many minerals and vitamins because we are not able to absorb, right? This is one thing with wheat. Because of gluten, the gluten sticks to our intestines, and then our intestines are not able to absorb the nutrition that we derive from our food. So when we are able to cleanse our intestines, then our food absorption is also better, and then we have spoken about it that our microbiota is also increasing. So our food digestibility is also increasing, right? So with our, when we are having millets, we are actually just reversing the whole circle.
Meghna ji, what about makkah?
Makka is corn. It has got 2.7% of fiber. It's a neutral millet.
Meghna ji, that's good actually. It's a good topic. I have one question. MR wheat, which is so the normal wheat which you are talking is full of gluten, right? And
Yeah.
MR wheat is low gluten.
Emery wheat,
So
Bansi.
yeah, not
Yeah.
Bansi. MR wheat,
Emery,
khapli
yeah.
gehu, which you call it as
Khapli.
khapli
Sorry,
gehu.
khapli. It's not Bansi, it's khapli. Yeah.
Yeah, khapli gehu is low gluten, right?
Yeah.
So I suppose millets are also low gluten, low in gluten,
Millets are zero gluten.
zero gluten. Okay.
Yes, and emery wheat is very low gluten, that is true, but fiber content is not much. It is our ancient wheat. We can actually, if we are healthy and fine, we can have a little bit of emery wheat. It is much better than normal wheat varieties that we have today because,
Okay.
yes, but
And the other question
should
that
be
I
in moderation. And see, the biggest thing is whenever we eat anything, it has to have variety. Even with positive millets, we can't say that, okay, if you have arthritis and foxtail is good for you, then you keep eating foxtail. It's not that. Beauty is in variety. So when we are talking about millets, we are not talking about one millet. Here also we have 5 millets so that we get the full nutrition out of it.
so you say millet is completely gluten free?
Yes.
Okay, so we can substitute for so it can be completely substituted in so people who are gluten intolerant, they use different flours like cauliflower flour, almond flour, etc. to substitute to eat in their supplement. So we can substitute millets completely for people who are
Yes.
gluten intolerant.
Yes.
Okay, and thank you for this. And my other question is, why should we soak millets for 4 hours at least to fight out the phytic acid? And what is phytic acid?
No, actually, we are not soaking millets. That phytic acid is for the uh, 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 pulses like rajma and chole and all those things that we soak. Na, that phytic acid is because of that. It is for that. We are not soaking millets for that reason. We are soaking millets because it is very high in fiber and also it is very high in lignans. So we soften that fiber and lignans. Secondly, for some people, it may also produce some heat. And we live in a hot country. So that is the reason that we need to soak the millets. And it's best to soak for at least 6 to 8 hours. If someday you forget to soak or there's a problem, maybe you can make an exception and soak it for 2-3 hours. But we suggest that you can soak it for at least 6 to 8 hours. For very little children and for elderly people, very elderly people, you can even soak it for 12 hours.
So Meghna ji, talking about soaking, a lot of the millets are available today in the form of flours. So what do we do about that? Because when they are in dana form, then we can soak them. But agar flour hota hai to kya karte hain?
When there's a flour, we need to soak it at least for 1 hour.
1 hour, even that we need to soak, is it?
Yes, because see, the grains are crushed and they so at least 1 hour soaking still we will need.
Okay.
And
I
you
didn't
can
know
do
this.
one more thing to make it easier. Sometimes people are not very comfortable with all the time soaking and making. So what you can do is you can clean the millet, soak it for 6 to 8 hours, 10 hours, then you can dry it completely. And it doesn't take very long to dry it completely. Even one complete day is okay for drying it completely. So you can then store it and then use it whenever you want to use the millets. Just soak it for 10-15 minutes and use it.
Meghna ji, that's amazing. So I sprout the millets. I don't know if it is good or bad. I never heard from anyone, but I make millet sprout, and I make it as a powder. I roast that powder, dry it out, roast that powder, and mix it in milk and give it to my daughter. So is it good or?
Yes, yes, you are sprouting it and making it more nutrition. It's good.
Okay, thank you.
मेरा नहीं पानी डालना। Yeah, any more questions? Would anybody like to ask any more questions?
Yeah, I have one more question. So this mixed millet, so in Karnataka they call it as huri hittu. That is a mixture of millets in the form of finger millet, ragi, or in the form of other millets. They are mixed with coconut and jaggery and being sold in the market so that they can use either it as a laddu, घी में mix करके लड्डू जैसा बना के खा सकते हो, नहीं तो दूध में मिला के पी सकते हो. But it's a mixed millet.
It's a mixed millet, right?
So is it okay? As Khadir sir says, not to mix millets.
Yes, it's not okay.
It's not
See,
okay.
we are getting many mixed flours in market also. We get that multigrain atta, but it's not a good idea.
Okay.
We are just
Because
trying-
what? Yeah.
So Meghna, here what I wanted to kind of really understand is, because, you know, frankly, a lot of these mixed millets, a lot of the millets are being sold in the whole, you know, in the commercial space as mixed atta, right? Or mixed and sold as a healthy food, right?
Hmm.
My own sense is that while the logic of having them separate is understood very well and appreciated, when you mix them, it doesn't mean that you are actually going to lose all the health. You just are going to reduce the impact of every single millet on the organs. Am I understanding this correct? So all we are saying is that it's not going to have a negative. It's not bad to have mixed millets, but it is not as good as having them separately.
See, whenever we eat something, whatever we are eating, वो जितना ज़्यादा simple form में होगा, जितना simple खाना होगा, उतना हमारे digestion के लिए अच्छा होगा. जब हम दो things को mix करेंगे, तो वो heavy हो जाएगा digestion के लिए भी. तो हमारे digestion के लिए भी वो अच्छा नहीं है. So,
I have one question here. Since Gauri ji picked up the point of cancer, I have a friend who is recovering from cancer treatment and surgery, etc. So obviously, when I met her, the first thing I told her was remove sugar from your diet totally. And if you need to have something sweet, pick up a piece of good and have it. But don't have sugar was what I suggested to her. Now,
you should not have good also.
Okay.
No good.
No
good at all.
Fruits. Fruits are
Nothing
also
sugar. Yeah.
For cancer, like
No,
diseases.
She's already through that cancer part. But then the fact is that relapses are not very rare. They do happen, and we all know that. So that is why I was also telling her that gehu nikal do diet mein se. So the question was, what should she replace gehu with? So
millets.
Which millet will work? Which millet is good for her health condition?
So just adding to what Priya is saying, this was going to be my next question, is that, you know, somewhere in the passing you had mentioned that there is, you know, every millet is of course affecting certain organs. But if we were to go to things like thyroid में तो वैसे ही question mark है कि millets लेना चाहिए कि नहीं, उसी पे बहुत debate चल रहा है आज की तारीख में. लेकिन पर अगर diabetes लें, cancer लें, arthritis लें, इन सब के लिए कोई recommended millets हैं क्या? So I mean, just adding to her Priya's question.
Yes. Like जैसे arthritis है, for arthritis foxtail millet is the best. It works on our joints. So we will have 3 days foxtail millet, and then in a row 1 day brown top millet, 1 day barnyard millet, 1 day kodo, and 1 day little. But we will have all 5 of them, because body में हम ये नहीं कर सकते कि सिर्फ एक ही पार्ट है और उसी को क्लेंस करना है और सिर्फ उसी पार्ट के साथ प्रॉब्लम है. We need to cleanse the whole body. हम लोग उस particular part पर ज़्यादा stress करेंगे, but we are not going to leave the other parts of the body. We are treating the body as whole. So we are going to all 5 millets.
कैंसर के लिए कुछ खास मिलेट पे ज्यादा फोकस करना है क्या? जैसे
It depends on what kind of cancer
it is, because it could, the cancer also affects different parts of the body. So
yes.
Yeah. So
Meghna ji, how to make millets more palatable and interesting so that the family also likes it and enjoys it?
I was waiting for this question.
Actually, there is one. I'll answer this question and I then go to one more topic which I was expecting somebody to ask, but nobody has asked. So I'll talk about that also. Making millets palatable is very, very easy. I am actually, when I started telling people about millets, first question was like, no, I met many people who actually bought millets from health food shops, but then they were not able to actually, they didn't know how to cook it. And that happened with me also. So after I did the course, I ate for whole 3 days, we were given millet dishes. So it gave me an idea how actually we can use millets in our diet. So after that, I started experimenting with millets with my own taste, how I can make it. So now I take cooking classes for millets. Millets are made in every way. Whatever you make, you can make with millets. Everything. We just need to understand few basic points. When we make atta for roti, that time we need to add 100 grams of dal in 1 kg of atta. 1 kg of grain plus 100 grams of either urad dal or mung dal, or if you are getting atta, then you can add maybe दाल का आटा भी आप मिला सकते हो या बेसन भी मिला सकते हो. सो थोड़ा सा बाइंडिंग के लिए हम लोग दाल मिक्स करते हैं, बट बहुत अच्छी रोटी बनती है, बहुत टेस्टी रोटी बनती है. और जैसे आप चावल बनाते हैं एग्जैक्टली उसी तरह से आप मिलेट्स बनाते हैं. इसमें थोड़ा सा पानी का प्रपोर्शन थोड़ा सा चेंज हो जाता है. जैसे हम चावल बनाते हैं ना, उसको 2 टाइम्स पानी में चावल को बनाते हैं, लेकिन मिलेट्स में ये है कि जैसे लिटिल मिलेट और बार्नयार्ड मिलेट है, उसको पहले आप सोक करेंगे 6 to 8 आवर्स. उसके बाद 2.5 टाइम्स वाटर विल बी रिक्वायर्ड फॉर लिटिल मिलेट एंड बार्नयार्ड मिलेट. फॉर कोदो मिलेट यू विल रिक्वायर 3 टाइम्स वाटर. 1 कटोरी कोदो के साथ आपको लगेगा 3 कटोरी पानी. Then for foxtail you will require 3 1/4 katori of water. For brown top you will need 3.5 katori of water for 1 katori of millet. इससे आप इडली, डोसा, सारी साउथ इंडियन डिशेस भी बना सकते हैं. फिर जैसे राइस बनाने के बाद हम उसको छौंकते हैं या बनाते हैं, उस तरह से आप बहुत सारे तरह से when you will start making it, आप बहुत सारी चीजें उससे बना पाएंगे.
मेघना जी, इस पे भी वेबिनार हो जाए.
गौरी जी सोच रही है कुछ तो करने का.
Yeah, so we are announcing a millets session, a millets cooking session. Unfortunately, Meghna ji is not available during those days, and we didn't want a very long break. So on the 18th of November, in the morning time, so 11 to 12:30 is what we are announcing. That we'll announce it very quick soon, but you all can make a note, those who are here already. 11 to 12:30 on the 18th of November. Shalini hasn't been able to join our session. I'm surprised why, because she's paid up. But Shalini is a very well-known millets, what should I say, cook, a chef, and she runs a lot of classes here in Gurgaon.
I'm here, Gauri.
You there, Shalini? Are you there?
Yes, I've been watching this session and it has been amazing.
Wonderful. I'm so happy that you are there. Right. So Shalini, I think 11 to 12:30 is what we are freezing for November 18th, right?
Yeah.
So as of now, that's what it is. Unfortunately, some of the working people might have to miss it because it's a Monday. But we have equal number of problems on weekends. So I've decided that we will, whatever dates we get, the first dates we get, we should just go for it, and we can always we can have Meghna ji back another time. So, I mean, the webinars are going to go on. So it's up to you all to learn. Okay. So, thank you. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
Yes.
The best. Huh?
I can't hear you.
No, we can't hear. We lost. I don't know who it was, but we lost her. Any other questions?
This is Shailaja here, Gauri. This is Shailaja.
Please
Meghna ji, what is the source of this millets if we want to go get online, like you mentioned, no, Shri Dhanyalu. So
Online, it's available at Big Basket, and there are many stores which are actually catering to this. So online,
So
you can get
who's
very
asking the question? Who's asking the question?
this is Mahima from
Mahima, where?
Ahmedabad. Yeah.
From Ahmedabad. Mahima, we have so many millet growers in our network. Anytime you want the best quality millets from any part of India, wherever it is grown, don't worry about it. Okay?
Okay,
Just reach out
fine.
and
Thank you.
you'll get access to it.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, Meghna ji, what I was trying to tell is the best recipe that I could figure out with, and which I can eat even 3 times a day is dal khichdi. Dal khichdi. Millet and moor dal or masoor dal. It is the best recipe.
So for me, the best recipe, if I may share, and we can do one round of sharing this. The best recipe which we have discovered on our own is the millet chillas. So almost every breakfast, I have one or the other millet in the form of chillas. The second thing which I have almost very regularly is ragi, sprouted ragi with some fruit. So like in the morning today, I shared in my NCR group that I had the sprouted ragi with apples, bananas, and some flax seeds and pumpkin seeds. So it becomes a very, very full meal. So that's what I do. So either the chillas or the ragis. I'm not very fond of the biryanis and the upmas which are made from millets, or even the idlis, but the chillas just work out beautifully. And we also fill up sprouts in the chillas, so it makes it even healthier. So that's how we make it actually. Yeah.
Being from South, I'm I mix 1 portion of millet and 3/4 portion of urad dal. So this batter goes very well for idlis, dosas, uttappams, everything.
Fantastic.
So my weekdays and weekends are full with the.
Can you repeat the proportion again? 1 portion millet and 3 times urad dal?
She said 3/4. I use half of urad dal.
Okay, I think we are there's a problem with one of the phones. Any other questions? We have some other questions, especially related to health. I really would like, because as far as cooking is concerned, we will do another session. But if anybody has health-related issues or concerns and connected,
If you
Meghna
could
ji.
guide millets for thyroid issues.
For thyroid, little millet is the best. So you can use 3 days little millets, 1 day brown top millet, 1 day kodo millet, 1 day foxtail millet, and 1 day barnyard millet. And again, you can go into the same cycle. You can use little millet the most.
Meghna ji, I would like to ask about insulin resistance. What should be the proportion of millets for that?
See, there is no proportion. And see, with millets, the best thing is you don't have to starve yourself with so many diets, the fads and all. I have seen people, they are actually trying to get thin, and they feel so many times they feel very hungry, and their whole day just goes into managing their food. I have 1 or 2 diabetic patients also. They went to some naturopathy center. There they were given diets, and they were actually reversing their disease also. It's not that it is not working for them, but main problem was that my client said that I feel hungry all the time. What do I do? I'm following the diet, I'm reversing my disease, I'm happy with that, but my heart and my mind is not satiated. It doesn't give me that satiety. I feel hungry all the time. So when he got it on this millet diet, he is very happy now because he said, I'm a large eater and without worry now I'm eating to my full and I'm also losing weight. So
that is what I was trying to ask you. When I asked proportion, I meant, like you said, 3 days X, 3 days Y, 1 day Y, 1 day Z. So I'm just trying to understand when the issue is insulin resistance, which is actually
I
not a benefit.
understood. It's 2 days each of millets. Each millet 2 days. See, Gauriji, I also wanted to say one thing. Millets is just a part. Like when we talk about disease reversal, no, only millet is not going to reverse the disease. It is just a part of the whole system. I wanted to cover 2 more things when I was speaking about millets, because about cooking the millets, we can cover it in the cooking session also. But one thing is, what I wanted to stress was, why, if millet is so good and if wheat and rice is so bad, why is it that today we are eating wheat and rice, it is widely available, and millets are nowhere? Even so many of you may not even have heard the names of the millets, right? The positive millets, we have not even heard of them. So why is it that today we are getting so much of wheat and rice? So I just wanted to comment on that point, that earlier in the whole world, we have seen that foxtail millet, barnyard millet, little millet, brown top millet, they are all like American millet, African millet, Japanese millet, Italian millet. So it's not just the India story. This story is of the whole world. अगर आप देखेंगे तो आज एक अमेरिका में भी वही हाल है, थोड़ा सा डिजीज में चेंज है, लेकिन आज वही 30 डायबिटिक्स 100 में से 30 वहां भी मिलेंगे आपको, वही इंडिया में भी मिलेंगे. आप किसी किसान को, मजदूर को देख लीजिए, किसी पॉलिटिशियन को देख लीजिए, किसी को भी देख लीजिए, डिजीज इज स्प्रेड ऑल ओवर द स्पेक्ट्रम. वो एक पर्टिकुलर उसको नहीं किया है कि शायद आज, क्योंकि सभी का लाइफस्टाइल काफी सिमिलर है, हम लोग सभी एक्चुअली वही चीजें यूज कर रहे हैं जो एक गरीब आदमी भी वही यूज कर रहे हैं जो एक थोड़ा सा वेल सेटल्ड आदमी यूज कर रहा है. हम लोग जनरली उसी साइकिल में सभी लोग हैं. ऑल ऑफ अस आर ईटिंग व्हीट एंड राइस, राइट? सो अगर जब वर्ल्ड फोरम में अगर हम देखें तो जब फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर हुआ, 1914 to 1919 फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर हुआ, 1939 to 1944 सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर हुआ, राइट? काफी साल पूरे दुनिया में वर्ल्ड वॉर, सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर में जब अमेरिका ने हिरोशिमा और नागासाकी के ऊपर एटम बॉम्ब गिराया, उसके बाद दुनिया काफी सिहर सी गई कि अब एक्चुअली एटम बॉम्ब बन चुका है, और अगर युद्ध जारी रहा, अगर हम लोग ऐसे ही फाइट करते रहे तो वर्ल्ड एक्चुअली बचेगा ही नहीं. सो ये रियलाइजेशन जब लोगों को आया तो आफ्टर दैट यूनाइटेड नेशंस का फॉर्मेशन हुआ, पूरे वर्ल्ड में एक शांति की स्थापना हुई, राइट? सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के बाद कोई थर्ड वर्ल्ड वॉर हुआ है? अभी नहीं हुआ है, राइट? बट आपने एक और चीज सुनी होगी कि थर्ड वर्ल्ड वॉर होगा. किसके लिए होगा?
पानी के लिए.
पानी के लिए, राइट? तो उसी लेक्यूना को हम इसमें भरते हैं. आप देखिए कि कैसे सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के बाद कैसे चीजें चेंज हुई है, और व्हाई वी हैव कम टू दिस कंक्लूजन कि अब थर्ड वर्ल्ड वॉर पानी के लिए होगा. क्योंकि जब यूएन का फॉर्मेशन हुआ तो पूरे वर्ल्ड में पीस हो गया. जब पूरे वर्ल्ड में पीस हुआ तो काफी बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज थी जिन्होंने बहुत बम बारूद बना रखा था, क्योंकि युद्ध में इस्तेमाल हो रहा था वो. जब शांति हो गई तो उन्हें लगा कि अब हम इस बम बारूद का क्या करेंगे. दे वर बिजनेसमैन, उन्हें तो अपना कैसे भी करके, और बम बारूद ऐसा तो है नहीं आज रख लिया तो कल यूज कर लेंगे, उसका एक एक्सपायरी डेट होता है, राइट? तो उस बम बारूद में जो नाइट्रोजनस
फर्टिलाइजर,
हाँ, वो उसी बम बारूद से फिर फर्टिलाइजर बना, यूरिया बना, डीएपी बना, और पूरे वर्ल्ड में ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया। ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन के थ्रू सारे इंडस्ट्रियल क्रॉप्स जैसे वीट, राइस, ये सब इंट्रोड्यूस किए गए। वाई वीट एंड राइस? मिलेट पर भी तो वो कर सकते थे ना, बट वीट और राइस इसलिए क्योंकि वीट और राइस को उगाने में बहुत ज़्यादा पानी लगता है। वीट और राइस को उगाने में 8,000, राइस को उगाने में 8,000 लीटर पानी लगता है, वीट को उगाने में 9,000 लीटर पानी लगता है, ओनली 1 kg ग्रेन को प्रोक्योर करने में। तो जितने भी केमिकल्स है, फर्टिलाइजर्स है, दे रिक्वायर वाटर टू वर्क ऑन द क्रॉप। तो कोई भी क्रॉप जिसमें वाटर नहीं लगता है ज़्यादा, उस पर ये केमिकल्स वर्क नहीं करते हैं। इसलिए उन्होंने सारी जो क्रॉप्स जिनमें बहुत पानी लगता था उसे बढ़ावा दिया गया। उससे क्या हुआ, आज हमारा सारे जितने भी सब्सिडी देके फार्मर्स को पीडीएफ सिस्टम के थ्रू और सब दूर बढ़ावा दिया गया कि आप वीट एंड राइस खाइए। इवन आदिवासी लोग जो भी उगाते थे काफ़ी चीज़ें, जब से फार्मिंग शुरू की है इंसान ने, तब से हम लोग वी डिडंट नीड मच वाटर एक्चुअली फॉर आवर खेत। हमारे खेत तो हम वही बारिश पर ही निर्भर करते थे। अभी पिछले ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन के बाद से तो कनाल्स और डैम्स और वो सब शुरू हुआ है, बट बिफोर दैट ओनली 70 years, मिलियंस ऑफ ईयर्स हो गए, हजारों साल से इंसान बिना पानी के इतनी क्रॉप्स उगा रहा था और एक इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस था वर्ल्ड में। लेकिन अभी हम जितनी भी क्रॉप्स उगा रहे हैं, दे आर ऑल वेरी वेरी वाटर इंटेंसिव। उसके कारण सारा इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस भी बिगड़ रहा है और हमने मतलब सारा हमारा ग्राउंड वाटर भी खत्म होता जा रहा है। एंड इट्स अनदर मैटर कि कैसे नदियाँ भी हमारी सूख रही हैं। तो बिकॉज ऑफ द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ वीट एंड राइस, इवन वी आर हमारा पानी भी खत्म हो गया है और आज हम इस स्थिति पे पहुंच गए हैं कि अगर तीसरा विश्व युद्ध हुआ तो वो पानी के लिए होगा।
I think this is a very important aspect which you have brought in, because while all of us are talking about health and millets and related to millets, it's also the whole agroecology for which for which we need to support the growing of millets and the consumption of millets. So एक तरफ हमारा health है, हमारा जो traditional food system है जो बहुत support करता है, और दूसरे छोर पे the fact is that they are parts. For example, now we are accessing bajra from one remote part of Rajasthan. मारवाड़ का बाजरा बोला जाता है, वो बोलते हैं बहुत मीठा होता है वो बाजरा। each of these millets have lot of varieties also.
called बाजरी।
हाँ, वो मतलब उनमें ही मैंने सुना है राजस्थान में ही 5-6 अलग-अलग varieties होती है, हो सकता है ज्यादा भी हों, और अभी तो कई तो लुप्त भी हो गई हैं। Some of them have even disappeared, just like a lot of our rice and wheat, rice have disappeared. Wheat, of course, has not been considered an Indian variety, except for the new variety. But the fact is today that millets is our traditional meal. It solves the problem of water. It solves the problem of not using chemicals. Like Barmer district में जिले में जहाँ पर ये जो मीठा में मारवाड़ का बाजरा बोल रही हूँ, वहाँ पर वो लोग केमिकल बिल्कुल यूज ही नहीं करते क्योंकि पानी नहीं होता है. So it's like almost a natural ecosystem which has been created. And very well said, Meghna. I really like ending the whole discussion on this note, because we need to be warriors or ambassadors, whatever you might call it. I mean, one kind of war is absolutely welcome. And this is the war for food, the right kind of food and the right kind of growing of food. So we have to go back to, a traditional food systems, because they had a logic, they had a scientific basis. They were connected to our soils, they were connected to our digestive systems, they were connected to a culture, all of that, all of it. And maybe one day we will have even a session, Meghna, maybe someday we'll talk to you about it, and see, we can also get a couple of other experts who talk about the whole food system around millets and some other indigenous varieties. Many of us have forgotten it. We've not we've not really been able to grasp पे पहले great grandmothers or fathers क्या क्या खाया करते थे, कब खाया करते थे, winter में क्या खाते थे, summer में क्या खाते थे, बारिश में क्या खाते थे. एक individual constitution है आयुर्वेद में, जो हमारे 3 तरह के जो हैं अपने वाता पित्ता और कफा के हैं, उसके मुताबिक also we can have a millet distribution. Am I correct, Meghna? It makes a lot of sense. The pitta, certain millets will suit you a pitta a lot more than maybe a kapha personality person and a vata person. And then seasonally, and then also the regions of India. Bajra, for example, some people cannot eat during summers at all, whereas in some parts of India, like Rajasthan, bajra is eaten even during summers. So so we all made differently. There was a basis for all of this, and we have to bring it back. We have to all really take a sankalp to bring it back. For me, food is not just about कि healthy खाना है और इसके लिए नहीं. Food is something far deeper. It has a civilizational value. It has a whole, the whole consciousness of our nation and culture which is connected to it. So that's what we are also trying to revive, because we believe our whole existence also thrives on that. I think your voice is not. Yeah, somebody's removed. Aapka, yes, please.
I have one question, Meghna ji. So long time back, able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, long time back there was a myth going on कि in South America or Brazil, they were consuming millets, and the myth was that they used to say कि don't consume millets more because it will create thyroids in your body. So can you just clear my doubt?
Yeah, see, actually, we are actually treating thyroid by eating millets. People who are not eating millets, mostly they are the people who are actually getting thyroids. And we are actually treating thyroid by eating millets. So people are getting treated by eating millets. We are given them a full protocol and they are getting treated. So I don't know how much, because our experience doesn't show that we are getting thyroid. In fact, it's treating thyroid.
I think there is news around thyroid, and we don't know whether there's enough research to prove one way or the other.
Yes.
And I think we should, we should not. But the fact is that thyroid is a lifestyle disease, and the fact is that wheat and rice and polished rice is part of that lifestyle disease. So all of us have to be aware of that. And beyond that, of course, why should we be even talking about thyroid? I think we should. Africa mein hua tha. I'm not sure about Brazil. I heard about Africa. This case of thyroid in Africa. Whether it's being caused by a specific kind of millet, we don't know that yet. But I think more research needs to go into it, and I personally feel that we should park it for research. So I would like to really end the session here, Meghna ji. I really feel like spending the rest of the day with you because there's so much knowledge.
Actually, I just wanted to say one thing, and then I wanted to finish with a poem. I just wanted to say that human beings, we are not isolated. We are a part of this earth, and our food habits are actually defining how we are creating a world around us. So today we have spoken and talked about millets, but in the future, maybe we can touch on many more topics, how the way we are consuming, what we have chosen to eat as food is affecting our environment. So maybe we can talk on that some other time. And I just wanted to finish the session with a poem. Can I do that? Yeah.
It's an honor. Yes, please.
Yeah. पुराने देसी अनाजों के संबंध में बहुत ही सुंदर कविता है. यह रागी हुई अभागी क्यों, यह रागी हुई अभागी क्यों, चावल की किस्मत जागी क्यों, जो ज्वार जमी जनमानस में गेहूं के डर से भागी क्यों. यूं होता श्वेत चंगोरा है, यह धान सरीखा गोरा है, पर यह भी हारा गेहूं से जिसका हर कहीं ढिंढोरा है. जाने कितने थे अन्न यहाँ, एक दूजे से प्रसन्न यहाँ, जब आया दौर सफेदी का हो गए मगर सब खिन्न यहाँ. अब कहाँ वो कोदो कुटकी है, सांवा की काया भटकी है, सन्यासी हुआ बाजरा अब, गूम हुई कांगनी छुटकी है। अब जिसका रंग सुनहरा है, सब तरफ उन्हीं का पहरा है। अब कौन सुने मटमैलों की, गेहूं का साया गहरा है। यह देता सबसे कम पोषण और करता है सबसे ज्यादा शोषण। तोहफे में दिए रसायन और माटी पानी का अवशोषण। यह धेनु धनिया सेठ बना, उपभोगी मोटा पेट बना। जो हजम नहीं कर पाए हैं, उनकी चमड़ी का फैट बना। अब आएंगे दिन रागी के, उस कुरी बटी बैरागी के। अब राजगिरा फिर आएगा और ताज गिरे बड़भागी के। अब हमला हो हमलाई का, छट जाए भरम मलाई का। चीनी भर भारी चीना हो, टूटेगा बंद कलाई का। बीतेगा दौर गुलामी का, गोरों की और सलामी का। जो बची धरोहर अपनी है, गुजरा अब वक्त नीलामी का। थैंक यू।
Thank you so
Wow.
much.
Wow.
Fantastic, fantastic. What a lovely end, Meghna ji. And it's just really, I'm personally very, very grateful for this. Are the others joining in? All those who are still there, please do join in thanking Meghna ji.